Hey everybody, welcome back to Venomcentral. Now, by popular demand, I've had a lot of people asking me for more eyelash viper content. And I've done 2 previous videos on eyelash vipers, showing some of the babies that we produced and showing a live feeding. But I got a lot of people out there that love eyelash vipers, and I'm going to deliver. And it's Bothrop shillelaghi. It's a very popular animal. And there's a lot of keepers that don't like to make that jump into the really crazy venomous world that will keep an eyelash viper, because you get bit by an eyelash, it's serious, but it's not going to kill you. But you'll probably wish you were dead. But anyways, it's a popular hobby animal, and I have a very large group of them. I love them. They're just incredible little critters. But you probably noticed in my past videos all this stuff behind me, and we're getting ready for eyelash viper season. This is when the mamas start dropping the babies here in the next month or so. So I've got everything prepared for them. And I've got a certain way that I raise eyelash vipers, and it works really well. They eat on their own. There's no tease feeding. There's no monkeying around with them. They do really well. And I just want to show you how I do the baby eyelash vipers. Now, I raise my babies in this room here, in the main room, because it's a little bit warmer in here, and this room stays at about 78 degrees. But I start out with these little peanut containers. They're perfect size, and they're pretty sturdy. I burn holes in them, of course. I like a lot of ventilation, but what I do is I put water in the bottom of these containers, and that's their humidity source, and they can always go down and drink. And it's got the little fencing in there. All you arboreal guys know what that green fencing is, and with a little bit of green stuff. But the key to this is ventilation. Ventilation is so important for eyelash vipers. Humidity, ventilation, and temperature, and they do well. Now I take these lids and I actually cut them out. I cut these lids out, and then I just hot glue some screen into them, so that way they have a lot of ventilation, and they're not staying wet, but they got a great humidity from the water in the bottom, and they got a constant water source. So, and then all these get put into a nice little nursery here that gets monitored by a proportionate thermostat that keeps this thing at about a perfect 77 to 78 degrees. So that's where the little babies get reared up for the first 2 to 3 months of their lives, and then they'll move onto something a little bit bigger as they're growing. Same setup, same exact, a lot of ventilation, water on the bottom. I always raise them over water for the first year, and then as they grow and get a little bit bigger, I'll move them over to a little bit bigger of a container, which these are just your cheese ball containers. I actually went and bought a bunch of these full of cheese balls and threw all the cheese balls out just because I wanted the containers. And the pretzels come in them too, but same thing. Bunch of holes burnt in them. Water goes in the bottom. They suspend on their fence. Some greenery for some enrichment. And the same deal with the lids. Cut them out and put some screen in them. Hot glue them in there. Just weld them to it. And it makes a perfect little habitat for young eyelash. And they can do in this for probably a good year. I mean, I've actually left them in 18 months, and they thrive. Just at room temperature, nothing crazy, no heat lamps. They don't need none of that nonsense. They do really well at room temperature with a good humidity and good ventilation. But we're going to move over to the eyelash viper room, and we're going to show you a bunch of different color phases of eyelash vipers. We're going to show you some yearlings. We're going to show you some adults. We're going to show you some gravid eyelash vipers. And hang in there and don't run off, because the good stuff's coming. Okay, we're in our eyelash viper room, and I have a room dedicated to certain species. Now, this is for some of the Bothrop species, but definitely all the eyelash vipers. I mean, this room is kept cooler with a very high humidity. And actually, when you walk in this room, you can almost get a little chill on you. And they thrive in this room. Snakes that come from Central America, they just like it a little cooler, and they do a little bit better. And this room is dedicated to that. We have an African room. We have rooms. We have rooms. But anyways, now I just want a quick hit on. I don't know if y'all can see this mist going in here. Now this is a cold mist. Okay, this isn't a warm humidifier. This is a cold humidifier, and it blows out cool air, and it's great for the animals. It keeps the humidity that we want in this room, and it doesn't overheat this room. It keeps it nice and cool. Okay, and I mean you can see. Look at here. Here you go. Look at our humidity. Our humidity. Now I just turned this on about 10 minutes ago because I realized that it got so warm today that the air conditioning was kicking on, and when the air kicks on in this room, it sucks all the humidity out. And notice it dropped down to 55% humidity, where normally I keep it at 78% humidity. So we had to turn it back on and jack it back up. But look at the temperatures. It's 75 degrees in here, and that's rated about where I like it. And 77 is about the high point. I don't like it to get over 77 degrees in here. And that's how the Schlegs like it, and the Schlegs do well like that. Now, I'll raise the babies in a room that's a little bit warmer. Plus, I need some space. But they do better a little bit warmer for some reason. Just a few degrees makes a big difference with them. But what we're going to do is, I just got done setting up another 20 long for another gravid female that's going to drop this year. She's actually really close. Now, originally, she was in the big exhibit with a male. So I had just extracted both of them and cleaned that exhibit. I'll put him back in there and put her into her own cage now, because she's that close to where she's getting ready to drop babies, and I got a feeling she's going to drop about 20 of them. And I don't want her having them babies in this exhibit where it's going to take me days to find them all and try to find all them little squirts, and it'd be a nightmare. So she's getting pulled, he's getting put back in. So let me show you guys this, and it's a good chance to show you just the size difference between males and females, because just like a lot of Bothrops species, males are small in eyelash and females are big. But let me get this open, and we're going to put his little butt back in there. We just got him some new substrate and cleaned everything down in there. And now, this is one of my adult males. And now this guy is 5 years old, and I've raised him from a little baby. And that's it. That's all he is. He's about 16, maybe 18 inches long. And he's still growing. He may get a little bit longer. And this is one of my gold males. And he's got a little bit of orange in him. But what a cool little snake. I mean, this is one of my little obsessions, is my Schlegs. But this guy is Romeo. He is a breeder. And like I said, see how he's long and lean? He just makes a better breeder because he's long and lean. And feeding these guys, when they reach this size as an adult, he gets a mouse about once a month. And that's all he needs. And look at, he is actually very muscular, very healthy. And I'm not going to let him get too close to my fingertip. And he is a little rock star. This guy breeds a lot of snakes. But we're going to put him back into his exhibit. And this is where he pretty much lives all the time. And we pop females in there with him periodically. And he does his business. That's his bachelor pad. Okay, now we're going to move this big gravid female into a new enclosure, because I don't want her having babies in that big exhibit. That would just be a little bit too much to do, to find all them babies in there. But she is absolutely gorgeous. This is kind of what I call a green tiger. Some guys would call it a Christmas tree, but she's really nice forest greenish. She's got these nice red tiger stripes on her. And she is so gravid that it's not even funny. She is huge. I mean, look at this girl. That is going to be a mess of baby Schlegs in there. Now, look at the size difference between her and that male. She dwarfs that male. And she's picking up a heat signature on that camera. There you go. That's a good distance right there, honey. Stay where you're at. Now, look at the size of the head on this thing. I mean, she's got a massive head. She's a big-headed rascal. But she is going to give us a nice big litter. And look at the size of her. She is absolutely gorgeous. And the underneath of her, she's got these beautiful red and greens all speckled in together. But we're excited about this one. And who knows what colors they'll throw, because eyelash vipers in one litter can have every color under the rainbow. And we're going to put her in a new cage here where she can get settled in and have her own space and have some privacy to have her babies. And instead of me looking for 20 baby schlegs in a 6-foot exhibit, I only got to look in this little box. We're going to just put a little tape on there just to keep her tucked in there. And that's going to be her new home until she has her babies. And this is another one of our gravid females. Now this is a yellow and black tiger. And I've got the camera in my hand because I won't let my wife get her hands up in here. And this girl has been holding up high for the past 3 months. And she's very close to dropping babies. And she drops the big babies. She drops the big babies that eat full pinkies right away. And she needs to get rid of them because she needs to eat. She hasn't eaten in a couple of months. She goes off feed when she's gravid, but just a quick look at her. We're not going to drag her out of there and upset her. And you can see she's got a nice exhibit of her own. Okay, we're going to feed a few eyelash vipers because I've got a few snakes that weren't able to eat last week. They were just coming out of shed. But we've got a lot of subadults and adults in the eyelash viper room. And we're going to start out with one of our greens. Now this is a subadult female. She's a 2-year-old. Hopefully by next year she'll be ready to breed. And I'm going to talk about how I feed eyelash. I feed frozen thawed because they pick up on a good heat signature and it's just better for them. I don't like to feed live a lot to my eyelash vipers because they get injured a lot. I'll feed gravid females live once in a while, and especially after they have babies, I'll give them a couple of live mice just to give them that extra boost. I like that fresh gut content. I think it's just better for them. But we're going to give this guy, or this female here, she's going to get her frozen thaw mouse, and these guys are really warm to the touch, but not too warm. I've already tested them with my heat gun, and I do them with my tweezers because I like to keep that good long distance now, you know, because these little rascals have a stretch on them. They can stretch out a lot further than you think when it comes to a strike. And she is in position right now. And she knows it's coming. She's in hunt mode. And let's see if we can make her stretch all the way out here for this. Here she comes. Oh, very nice. Good girl. Now, she's buried them fangs in it. And I'm going to shake it around like I do everything else so she juices it. Now, I don't know if this translates. The camera doesn't really pick up color really good. We need to really get a good camera, which we will soon. But she's got bright pink and charcoal, and she's really bright green. She's a beautiful snake. And hopefully she'll be a breeder for next year. Now I just want to show you one of my red eyelash vipers. I don't know if the camera translates this in color. We've been trying it a couple different times, making trial runs with it, and it just doesn't seem to show this snake's color. But you can go to my Instagram, Venomcentral, and check a picture out that I just took of this animal with our still frame picture camera. And this animal is brick red. It is just gorgeous. And we're hoping to reproduce these red ones this year. I've actually got a female that's gravid, a red one, that I bred to this red male. But she's in one of the tubs, and we're not going to disturb her because I think she's going to go any day now. But this animal is so amazing. I hope this color translates and you can at least get to see what he looks like. But check out my Instagram and follow me on Instagram too. We're going to move over and feed another color variation of eyelash viper. Okay, and for our next one, we're going to go and show you this yellow and green tiger male. Now, I produced this animal 3 years ago, and look at him. He is revved up. He is ready to go. And he'll be a breeder for next year. Okay, watch him pick up on a heat signature, and pow! Oh, that's cool. How can you not like that? That is awesome, isn't it? They got a good stretch on them, man. They can stretch out a long way and tag something. Can you imagine this guy hanging off a nice little rock shelf somewhere down in the Osa Peninsula in Costa Rica, grabbing a bat out of the air? That would just be amazing. But he's going to hang on to it, and I'm going to shake it around a little bit for him, and then we're going to let him take that down. Okay, and for our next one, we're going to go ahead and feed this big green female, and she's a beast. This snake is an absolute beast. She's a little devil, and she reaches out and grabs them and just nails them. She drills them. This snake, when it was born, it ate a full pinky head a day later, and it's never stopped. I've never had not one problem with this snake, and it started my whole fascination with eyelash vipers and raising babies to produce bigger, stronger babies that you ain't got to do little pinky parts and do all that nonsense with. And this was the one that started it, because she came out a monster. Actually, she's one of the offspring from my big monster yellow female, and she has never stopped. She started out on a pinky head. 3 or 4 pinky heads later, she ate a full pinky. I never had to tease feed her, never had to do anything with her, just put a warm pinky head in front of her, and she'd reach out and grab it and take it right down. But anyways, we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of other really neat patterned eyelash vipers, and we're going to let this girl enjoy her mouse. Okay, for our next eyelash viper I want to show you, this is a big adult male, and this is probably one of the biggest males I've ever seen. He's been mistaken for a female a couple times. Not by me, but by other people that have been in my eyelash viper room. But I'll tell you, this guy, he's a horn dog. He breeds everybody. But he is such a bright, beautiful yellow, and he's got these big orange spots on him, and he's got black speckling all through his body. He's really an amazing looking animal, and we really need to get a good camera so we can show just how beautiful these animals are. But we're working on it, and we're working on learning how to do these videos, folks, so bear with us. We're learning as we go. We want everybody to enjoy this as much as we do. But the color morphs of eyelash vipers, oh my God, they're amazing. And we're going to give this guy his privacy and get this light off of him. So hang in there for a few more minutes. We got one more snake to show you. Okay, we have one more eyelash viper that I can show you today. And now this is another male. And this is a special male. Well, he's actually just starting to blue up, but he is a very unique eyelash viper. He is this real gold color, and he's got these pewter colored tiger stripes and big blotches on him. It's really unique looking. After he sheds out, I'm gonna put some pictures on Instagram so you can see him. He's really a cool snake, but the variations of eyelash vipers, oh my God, they come in a rainbow of colors, and what a cool little snake, and easy to keep. But we love them. We can't do without them. We got to have them. They're like ice cream. You get addicted to them. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I just wanted to share some of our eyelash vipers, and we've got some more bigger ones in tubs and stuff, but we're not going to go through messing with them. We've kind of given them some privacy right now. Actually, I think I might have one that's getting ready to have babies tonight. But just to show you all the colors, variations, and the variations of eyelash vipers is amazing. I mean, they come with every color under the sun. It's a really cool snake, a cool hobby snake. But I love snakes that come in different colors. If I was a python guy, I would be a morph guy. I mean, there's no doubt about it, because I love all that beautiful stuff. It's just amazing what some of these guys do with the morphs. It blows me away. And I'm not a Python guy, but I tell you, like watching so many YouTube videos and following some of the guys, the only ones I really follow is this always evolving pythons. What this guy does with these morphs is just insane. I mean, he produces some really cool stuff. And Nerd, of course, produces some really cool stuff. But and Brian Cusco, I mean, these guys are talented at what they do. Oh my God. But I'm a venomous guy, so, and I don't really like to do venomous morphs too much. I used to do the cobra morphs and all of that stuff, but to me, the most beautiful is the natural color. I like the way that God made them. And that's why the eyelash vipers, God touched them with, you can be anything you want. You can be any color you want, and I think that's really cool. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe. Please hang in there with us. We're trying to grow. We're trying to educate people about venomous snakes. And please, please be careful with your animals. Be mindful of what you're doing. And check back in with us. Venom Central, checking out. Later.